All right, we're live. But guess what?
What?
I'm going to go ahead and play the commercial, even though this is so raggedy, but I'm going to edit it out. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, Webb, you're up.
All right. All right. Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight? It is time for Educationally Rewired. And we are here I'm here, and Dr. Stevens, Zandra Webb, is here. And Dr. Stevens, you're not here with me. What's going on?
No, man, I'm in San Francisco hanging
Oh,
out with my buddy TJ. Give it up for the San Francisco
woo! All right.
team.
Come on, San Fran. I can't cheer.
Yeah, I'm on a quest out here to find rice-a-roni.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that was like my favorite rice growing up. And so I'm trying to figure out if rice-a-roni is really the San Francisco treat. Like,
It can't be.
I
That
really
there's
am.
so much more to San Fran than rice
There
around.
is so much more, but ever since I got here, I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, I wonder if there has to be rice-a-roni like somewhere.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I've been looking to see.
The grocery store. That's that's my hint. I'm pretty sure it's the grocery store.
I'm sure it's at the grocery store, but I just don't you remember the commercial
I
growing
do
up?
remember the commercial.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's deep.
no.
That's really deep.
There there's a war going on in the world, and I'm worried about rice-a-roni. It's
Right.
it's
Are
not
you doing all the
appropriate.
cool things out there, like riding the trolleys, Fisherman's Wharf,
Okay.
Alcatraz tour?
Yeah, so when I leave here, that's where I'm going. I am actually going to ask TJ to
Okay.
direct me to the trolley because I'm going to
Awesome.
ride the trolley to Fisherman's Wharf and just hang out until I can't ride the trolley anymore. Now, tomorrow I have a few meetings, but then after that, I am going to Napa Valley.
Oh my gosh, that is gonna be amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yes. What's so much to do
Wait.
there?
Why is your name the T?
Not understanding what my producer may have done to have my name incorrect on the screen, but that's okay. We're gonna let him make it for about 25,
Yeah, why
35
is
seconds. He's
why is
gotta
he
get some of
doing
this on
that?
the show. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, but we're gonna let my producer make it kind of. Okay?
You're gonna let him make it? Okay. Let
Yes.
me look in the comment section just in case. We have 6 viewers watching.
We have 6 viewers. Okay. Awesome. So they see and they know that
Ah,
my name is not the T.
no,
Um,
it is not the T. I
thank
don't even know why this is happening,
Sandra,
but
otherwise known as
yeah.
Sandra the Beautiful. And thank you all so much for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, so if you are tuning in tonight to join into our conversation, or if you just want to shoot us a what's up or hey, I would love to know who you are so I can include you in our conversation because I love including our viewers in our conversation. They have some great things that they say. So, Webb, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, we are talking about today doing too much. And we're talking about those other duties as assigned. That is that small print, fine print. It's actually pretty bold print in the educator's contract, and what that really means for us, and what that means for an educator, and the implications it has beyond the class at room and the school day.
Hmm. Um yeah, so you're giving your thoughts on that first, or you want me to give mine?
I mean, I would love to give my thoughts on that. Um, and excuse my little funky headgear here. Like I'm a DJ. But the way my hats and my hair and my earrings are set up, this is what it's gonna be. So, it's what it is. Anyhow, my thoughts on this topic. That is a very abused phrase. I see why so many educators are worn out because that phrase gets taken to the extreme.
Mm,
You know, we assume, or I should say, leaders assume that they can use that until they use the educator up.
mm,
So, and there's a lack of consideration for their life outside. There's a lack of consideration for the fact that they have families, they have things to do, that there's someone else, that education is what they do, but a wife or a mother or just a woman or a man is who they are. So yeah, I mean, I've seen so much burnout come because that phrase is abused so much.
yeah. So if you're what's first I see Tiffany Lake is on here. So
Hi, Tiffany.
Tiffany, I'm gonna direct my next few statements to Tiffany. So Tiffany, if you're still watching, my comment about it is as much as it is so terrible, I am guilty of using the phrase, um, other duties assigned to, um, get some things done
Yeah. Yes.
on my campus,
Yes.
and I desperately repent now.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
cleansing myself today.
Just lift your
Uh,
hands right there where you are.
all other duties assigned, right?
Yes.
So, but okay, so to my own defense, all right,
Mhm.
let's chat. At the time that I was using it, though, I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Right.
I was trained
Mhm.
and by HR. Let's
Uh-huh.
go. Okay, I was trained that that was a viable route to take if there were some things that needed to be done and they were not doing them. I have worked in many different states, so you will never know who or where I'm talking about.
Right.
You will never know. But I'm Tiffany, I'm gonna be bold enough to say that I am guilty, okay, as a school administrator of using the term in the write-up, all other
Ooh.
duties assigned.
Ooh,
Let's
did you
go.
really,
I
Stephen?
did. I know.
In the
I
write-up?
know. Hey, you know, that's what I love about our podcast is that um one of the things that I want to strive to do in doing this podcast is not only pointing fingers
Right.
or I don't want to point fingers in general, but I don't want to bring anything out and then be guilty of that same thing and not say when it was me.
Right.
So
That's true.
I will say that I am guilty
Mhm.
of using that phrase, to to get some things done on my campus, but to my defense, again, I was trained that that's what I was supposed to do, so I didn't know at the time. Now, I will tell anybody, like, lucky for me,
Mhm.
I was able to I had mentors that had very good people skills, and because they were good, influencers and they were very good with people, um, I was able to be trained in, working playing well with others, playing well with others. But
Right.
yeah, that was really a thing. It was a thing. it was a thing.
Well, I will say I don't think I've used it in a write up for one of my staff members, but I've definitely utilized the terms. And I understand too, I'm guilty as well as, you have these things that you have to get done as an administrator. You have to get it done. So
Mhm.
you're going to figure out ways to get it done. I do think that we have to be, as an administrator, you have to be mindful though. A lot of times those duties go to the people that we know we can rely on. So it's the ones who are the hardest working, the ones who are willing to do whatever, and the ones who just won't do or do, for lack of a better term, sloppy work. We're not going to ask them anyways because we don't want to be bothered. They're not going to get it done. So the burden a lot of times comes on the people who are willing to do the work. So it's it's crazy because those people get burned out. The best people get burned out. And they're the ones that are oftentimes guilted into thinking they can't take a day off or they can't do anything with their families. We give them these personal days, we give them these local days, we give them state days, and then we tell them, but don't take off ever. These kids need
I
you.
was just talking to somebody about perfect attendance as an adult, I
Right.
mean,
Like we
who
don't get a
strives for that
certificate.
certificate? Like,
Right. We
I
don't get a
remember
certificate.
sitting in the staff meeting, right?
Right.
Somebody was getting an award for perfect attendance, and I was like, "Are we doing this?"
Right. And okay, so I'm guilty as well because well, I would say I had to use it in a sense of I had such an absence problem on one of my campuses that there was an incentive who was there the most, but I did not make it a penalty because you took off. It was who was there the most, which in you got to think too is not necessarily the most fair measure anyways. When I was younger and I was teaching and I was in the classroom and my kids were younger, I had to take more days off because one is sick or this happened, that happened. So it was really beyond my control. As my kids got older and could take care of themselves, I had less days that I had to call in for because they were self sufficient. So that's kind of unfair to the person who's got a elderly person at home that they're taking care of, or they've got children at home that they have to take care of. It's really an unfair fight there.
Mm,
But I will say, just to tell an educator, you know, don't take any days off or don't do anything because I've got this, and this, and this I need you to do outside of what you already have to do is really unfair. It's unfair. I don't know
so,
why do we do that?
attendance is one of those things. It's a tricky situation, so I didn't really, I didn't really hone in on attendance like that, unless you miss more than the days that you were given.
Right,
At that point,
right. It's
then we
conversation.
had to do whatever. But back to the all other duties assigned, um, you mentioned teachers who did sloppy work, or practitioners,
Right.
that did
Yes.
sloppy work, and how you didn't ask them to do anything anyway. Well, in reflection,
Uh
I
huh.
think the practitioners that I use all other duties assigned, uh, in their write up. In reflection, I don't know if they were sloppy practitioners or if at the time I felt like I ran out of, like, for lack of a better word, weapons.
Arms, hands.
I ran out of all weapons, and I'm like, "Ah, all other duties assigned. I bet you're gonna do it today."
Right.
Right? Because in reflection, the one, person that I am thinking of in particular was really fighting for time with their family. This was pre-COVID. It was pre me,
Right.
actually, right? It was pre who I am today. So it was when I was a young administrator. I think I've been an administrator longer than I was a teacher, right?
Right.
So I was a young administrator and I didn't know how to influence my people to do what needed to be done. I was trying to rule 100% with policy instead of differentiating my leadership according to who I'm dealing with. So when I work with leaders, I always tell them that there are two different ways that you can lead, right?
Mhm.
So you can lead with your heart, or we can do this policy and procedure. So,
Right.
the people I'm working with choose whichever way works best for them. But when we get to a point where, you know, us having a relationship doesn't work and it's not productive, I'm forced to lead through policy and procedure. But at the time that I was using all other duties assigned as or weaponizing, right? All
Mhm.
other duties assigned, I had not learned I had not learned that balance, right? So when I think about that particular situation in reflection, that person was really advocating for being able to spend time with their family.
Right.
They were trying to balance the work that needed to be done on campus and their family,
Right.
right? I did not understand that because accountability, I eat, sleep, breathe. You know how at church they say, "In Him I move and I have my being," right? In accountability, I moved and I had my being.
Right.
I was obsessed with not losing
Right.
at all costs, even if it meant losing the people that I was leading, and that was a horrible place as a leader. That was an ugly part of my journey, right?
Right.
That no one talks about. That some leaders, huh? Come on, are still in that
Yes,
part of the journey. Come
they
on.
are. I mean, it is so I mean, I could reflect back on some things. And granted, I think as a leader for me, and of course some of my people could always chime in, some of my former teachers could chime in, but I think that I was very much I tried to have the heartbeat of the people that I worked with in mind. I seldom ever declined someone's day off unless it was just ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. But I really didn't run across that too much. I think I built a good enough rapport with my people to be able to do
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
And I also think I built a good enough rapport with my people to be able to ask them to do other duties and that they were okay with that. But I also, on the flip side, know that there were times that I probably pulled on the same people too much.
mhm,
And I did not, and while they were willing, they were able, that was not the best choice. That I really should have spent that time as a leader building the capacity in others to do what I was asking them to do all the time. So that's on me because my one of my responsibilities as a leader was to build up my teachers, build up my staff to help them go to their next level. And when I just say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm not going to ask him or her because they they don't have the skill," and I move on and I constantly pull and tug on those who I know can and will do it quickly because I like things done quickly. When I think about it, I want it done. That was malpractice on my part because I did not take the time to build a capacity in others and take that strain off of those who get pulled on all the time.
great. That's such a great word, like, malpractice. It was malpractice on my
Yes.
part. Um, Now, all other duties assigned as it relates to now, if you're if you are a sloppy practitioner,
Uh-huh.
you know, well, first, I think we need to define what is who are people that would be classified as a sloppy practitioner? Like, who are those people?
I would say the low skill, low will people, you know, I can deal with low skill,
Mm?
but the low will, that is a problem because you are coming to the table just for whatever reason. I can't really say for a paycheck because it's not like this profession pays out like mega bucks.
Yeah, I get that might be another topic
That
because
that may be it. Yes.
that we need to write that down
Yes.
because that's a whole nother conversation. I
Yes.
mean, what job do you go to and not look for the paycheck or work
Right.
for the paycheck? I
Yes.
I hate
You
when people
expect a
say
check.
that as it relates to us. I feel like I'm being manipulated
Right.
when
I
people
mean,
say that.
right, because you expect a check at
Yeah.
the end of the month or whenever your time of the month is that you get paid. You expect a check. So,
And if you don't pay me, I'm leaving.
right, if you don't get that check, I don't care what any educator says. Oh, I do this for the love of the job. I bet you if that direct deposit is not in there, you're gonna walk or you're gonna turn over somebody's desk.
Yeah, you don't love it that much.
You
There's
don't
not that much love in the world. Not
right,
to say that the job is not rewarding and
right,
that we love doing it. Like, I absolutely love doing it,
right.
But if you don't pay me, you can't
Uh-huh.
expect me to want to come. Like, that's
Right,
insane. But anyway,
right,
that's
right,
not today. Go
right. That's not today.
proceed.
But
Proceed.
but I'm saying that that sloppy educator is the one who is going to give the minimum and be okay with the minimum or mediocre. I I like to work with those who want the best. It's that competitive edge because I want the best. So I don't want someone who is going to do just enough to get by. So when I go to somebody and I ask for another duty out of them, and it could be something as, for instance, we have this Black History program coming up, and I need someone to kind of be the chairperson for this and champion this and make sure that this vision comes to pass. I may even have the vision for it. This is what I want to see, but I need someone to champion this. Well, that's going to require you outside of your school day to be putting things together, contacting people, sending emails, having rehearsals, doing all of different things. I'm not going to the person who has no creative juices and they have no go get it, nothing ambition to do that for me. Why
Mm,
would I ask them? But it was my role to take somebody and say, look, I haven't seen you involved in anything this year, but there's a project that I would like for you to take. I'm going to guide you through it step by step,
mhm,
and we're going to make sure that it gets done. That was my job. But what did I do? I went back to the person who I know would do it. But they did that
mhm.
in the Christmas, and they did Thanksgiving, and so that's what I mean as far as the sloppy educator, the one who they would get it done, everyone would show up, but they would be talking about me at the next board meeting, that person, and talk about me bad at the next board meeting.
Oh my god. Okay, I think this is a great moment to break for commercial producer guy on your end because I have a producer guy on my end, but yeah, we can break and go to commercial. Let's hit it.
Well, I think that you'll have to do the commercial on your end because you've got all the great perks.
Do I?
Yes.
Why is the producer fussing at me?
Because
I
I
thought
don't
I
know.
added you as a team member. Why are we airing all of our business here?
I know,
Okay,
right?
guys. We're breaking out for commercial and we will be right back after these messages. Let's go. right, we're back.
We're back.
So look, what I was gonna tell you about before we left was that I had the privilege of speaking with a principal about all other duties assigned. They actually said they were going to tune in today. But
Okay.
one of the things that they brought up was so I don't know, it was just eye-opening for me because they are the struggles that we all deal with. For example, all other duties assigned, you kind of feel when you know about that phrase in your contract or if it has been weaponized against you, at some point you just feel like if I don't do it, then I'm going to be fired. They
Yes.
have they,
Mhm.
and I hate to put a negative spin on central office cuz central office is not all bad, right? Just like school administrators are not all bad on campus level for
Right.
teachers, and just like all teachers are not bad, right?
Right.
So they could be anyone who is who has the ability or who could use that phrase,
Right.
right? To make things harder for you. Okay. So one of the things that she talked about was how she was just afraid that, you know, if she didn't do what she was asked to do, that you could be fired for it. So it empowers or it encourages people to be able to contact you after hours,
Yes.
about certain things that may have occurred throughout the day, and so you're at home trying to balance your home life, but you're being contacted about certain things that happen and you can't not answer. Now, you can
Right.
not answer, but when you do that, then it's almost like you become a target at some point and they try to, well, I won't keep saying they, but it could become it could make things more challenging for you or, even teachers or parents. Now, I've never really had parents contact me outside of hours that I didn't want them to
Right.
contact me, but teachers, and here's the thing. Oh, okay, so I'm guilty
Uh-huh.
of that too. Right?
Right.
And if anyone who has ever worked with me is watching, if they put a comment in here, I wouldn't even be upset because they know. Like even now, it's like, "Hey man, I have a job to do and I need to
Right.
get it done." And
Right.
because I am passionate about it, right? I spend lots of time and hours on what I am passionate about. It took a friend of mine to almost take my face and go, "Look,
Yes.
everybody is not they are not all as passionate as you are about education, and people have other things that they are passionate about." And it was
Exactly.
like it was eye-opening for me, like, "Really?
Right. There are other things?
You
Right.
think? Well, then why do you work in this profession then?" And
Right.
so, I had to learn that balance for myself,
Yes.
right? I had to learn that balance for myself, but I do understand how that phrase it makes education practitioners uncomfortable and kind of feeds into the anxiety and the pressure of having to respond. I have
Right.
to respond when it's not time to respond.
Right.
After hours is not time to respond.
Oh,
Before hours is not time to respond. And we have been conditioned to believe,
mhm.
come on, we've been
Yes.
conditioned. I don't think we understand. It's just like a Facebook or social media algorithm,
Mhm.
right? So you do something all the time. Eventually, the only thing that comes up on your page is what you have been watching.
Right.
Is
True.
what you like, what you have been talking about. And it's the same thing in our profession. We have been conditioned to believe that because of all other duties assigned or whatever, that education is 24/7 and we have to be, it's almost like what they try to do with church, a ministry,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
you just have to be available all the time,
Right.
period,
Well,
you
I
know?
will tell you, I was very guilty of that. And until it truly even infringed so much upon home life, I felt like I could not put down my phone. Like someone is gonna call me, somebody's gonna need me. And just as like it's pressure on a teacher because they're feeling like I could, my principal or central office is gonna feel like I'm less of a hard worker if I don't do something. It is the same way for a principal or a campus administrator to think the same way, like someone's going to think less of me if I don't answer this. I think about all the phone calls we used to get, like if a fire alarm went off at this school. Couple of things. I'm not a firefighter. So if that building is on fire,
Right,
I can't do a thing about it. And even if
right.
you call me, even if I show up on the scene, I still can't do anything about it. So those were things that I'm like, well, I got to be by my phone just in case something happens at the school. I'm not an officer of the law. If someone is breaking in, I'm not going to stop them. So, why did I feel this need? And like you said, answer every email as it
Mhm,
came in.
mhm,
And part of that is my email OCD because I don't like
mhm.
to see notifications. So you'll never see notifications just sitting on my phone unless there's something wrong with me. But, but I want to make sure that I answer that email. And I know we have a 24-hour turnaround time, but I didn't want to wait the 24 hours because I guess I used to think of it in more perspective of me being a parent. Like when I had a question, I kind of wanted to answer right then, even though I knew that I could not always get an answer right then.
Mm.
But if I could, I wanted it. So I used to say, well, if I can answer it, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. But that would mean sometimes late at night, or someone would send an email with the intention of me looking at it in the morning because they would even reply back like, "Really? You know you didn't have to answer that right now." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, I was up." you know. So, yeah, administrators have that bad as well, and sending out mass messages to the staff at night, but I think of things and I want them to know when they wake up.
So, here's my take on that though, because I'm probably not a good person, to because I support that, okay? Because I'm busy and I'm up and I have things to do, and if I choose to do that work during that time, that's fine. Why are you how do you even see my email that time of the night? Like,
Because
why
you're
are you
looking
on
at
me?
emails.
You don't even have to respond. I'm
Right,
sending it to get it off my to-do list. You can answer it in the morning. Like,
right,
why are you coming for me?
right. Well,
Why
I
are you
started
coming
using
for me?
I
Because
I
I
get
send the
you.
email at 1 AM.
I know, right? But I start using that schedule thing when that
Yeah.
became a thing,
Yeah, me
but
too.
before that, I was just like, well, that's when it was on my mind, so I sent it so I wouldn't forget or I wouldn't get caught up and do something else and forget to send it. So, it had nothing to do with you looking at it or responding to it at that moment. So, I mean, I had some teachers who really stuck to that, and I'm glad they did. Like, I'm not gonna read this until morning. Cool, because my intention is
Why
not
you
for you
gotta make
to.
an announcement though? Just
Right.
don't read it until
I know,
morning. I
I
didn't even
know.
ask you to
You
read it.
know, there
I'm just saying on behalf of all of those who are working, okay?
right. And if you
Oh,
are up and you got the message that I said, "Ooh, I thought about an
right.
impromptu Gene Day," and you didn't get the message because you said you're not checking messages.
Oh, well, then guess what? You'll spend all day in your khakis then. Don't
Right.
nobody care.
Stay in your missionary skirt then, because I sent the email and I was feeling it last night, and I said, "You know what? Jeans tomorrow because, well, I didn't have anything I wanted to wear the next day either." So
What what
jeans.
advice what advice do you give though for people who might be influenced by all other duties assigned?
Well, I think you need to have balance. So it's okay to say yes when your calendar allows, And it's okay to say no when your calendar does not allow. Do not make it so that your family is sacrificed or your outside obligations are sacrificed for the sake of being a pleaser to your administrator. It's okay to say, you know, I would have loved to do that, but I already had something planned, and do that without regret. Now, if you're doing it, don't do it with malice, like, oh, let me just do this because she's gonna keep asking me or this and that. It's okay to stand up for yourself where that's concerned. Now, don't be mad that your administrator has asked you, because they do have the right to ask you, but you also have the right to say yes or no. Okay. And I know that's hard to swallow because you think it's going to affect how your superiors think of you. But I mean,
Especially in charter schools,
yes,
I wanted to make
especially,
sure I made that point.
yes, let's talk about that, because charter schools, I mean, they don't have the broad staff that other public schools may have. So the charter schools, they have to double up on a lot of duties. So you're already probably teaching 3 or 4 preps, and then now they
And the principal of the school and the
right.
oh, man, when I worked as a principal at a charter school, and when they did not have a teacher and I
Yeah.
was asked to teach a class, I said, "What?"
Right. What are we doing
I
here?
was
I
like,
had to
"You"
do that in public school, so
oh my god, or to carry your own trash. I was like, "Are
right.
I'm sorry,
Trash.
who picks
Like,
the trash up?" The secretary was like, you take the trash." I was like, "I take the
oh,
trash out?
right.
Uh, no."
And those are things we take for granted in the public school system. And
Right?
I've worked charter, I've worked public, but I think about some of the duties that I had in the charter school was a lot more. I mean, just like a little
Yeah,
things that
it's
just
a
needed to
lot.
get done, you
It's a
know?
lot.
So, but it's okay to say no. And I think when I was younger, I
Mhm.
just thought, I was still stuck in that teenage, respect your elders, just do what they tell you to do. But then as I got older, I'm like, we are all adults. So I can
All the way
assert
grown.
myself. Yes, we are. And granted, I am a younger grown, but we both grown, we both have bills. Um, because that's my definition of grown. I don't care. You can be legal and you're grown when you start paying bills. But we both have that, so there's no need for me not to be able to say no. Like, I can. I've got children, I've got a husband, I've got a wife, I've got all of these different things. I've got church. I have other obligations that I have, other hobbies, other things I love. um that's okay. That's okay. you know I
Yeah.
made time as and it was funny, I waited to my administrative days to make time for myself. And maybe because my kids were older then, but I made time. I like to go dancing, and I wanted to dance. So I made sure that my schedule made it so that I could, when I leave work,
You did go dance a
I
lot.
did. It's funny now that here I am
You
working on for myself, and I can't tell you when last I went. That's crazy. But
did go dance a lot. We're
I
like,
did. Like,
we have this event going on. Where's Web? She has dance class tonight.
I
What?
do. And but it was my release from
Yeah.
everything that I did during the day or as an administrator. I had to have my release. So I know there were other duties as assigned as a principal. That is a huge, huge statement. And I did those duties. But then when it was just like extra stuff, yeah, I'm not gonna be there. Yeah, that's extra. Like, they're not looking for me, looking for me. No, I'm not gonna be there. Yeah.
But they're always looking for you, looking for I so the advice that I would give is this. I would give 1, do some internal reflection,
Mhm.
because I think that even though I would love to say that central office or those who were in charge, made me do it, right? The devil made me do it type
You're
thing.
right.
Um, if I really search internally, it wasn't. I can't blame them, and this is
Right.
why. Because my ambition to get to a particular place or to be in a particular role was the reason why I felt driven to do it. It was almost like I was being held hostage by my own ambition,
Right.
if that makes sense. So my desire to want to be an assistant principal or to want to work as a principal or any other position made me feel like I had to do it, because if I don't do it, now my reputation is ruined and then it's going to mess up my opportunity to be promoted. So if I could go back
Yes.
and speak to my past self, right? Before all this, I would say do some internal reflection and be okay with just being you. You cannot rush your time. When it's time to be promoted, you will be promoted,
Yes.
and take it from someone who has knocked down every door of opportunity. It's just not worth knocking down every door of opportunity, because if you just wait, your time will come. And people told me that so many times,
Right.
right? And I did not believe them, and I still moved with such strong ambition. And I, I don't regret that, but I wish I had more wisdom about it then, right? I wish
Right.
I trusted the people who were speaking into me enough to listen to what they were saying. So I would say do some internal reflection and make sure it's not your own, it's not your own ambition that is holding you hostage to, now I have to do it. You really don't. And you're missing moments right now trying to get to a future moment, right?
Right.
So enjoy the moment that you're in is a subtext for that, right?
Right.
Um, I would also say nothing should be more important than your family. Look, people used to say this all the time. I was looking for a job when I found this one. And I used to say, man, I wish I could say that.
Right.
Man, I wish I could say that, but I got to pay my light bill, right?
Right.
But now I understand exactly what they're saying. They are just confident that, like, if I don't have this job, I'm gonna find another job. The myth is, or
Mhm.
the lie is,
The
oh,
lie.
don't go from job to job. Nobody's gonna hire you. Now that's a total lie.
It completely.
Find the place where you fit
Right.
and enjoy that place. And then when things come up, like they ask you for things to do, it won't be a chore and it won't be hard,
Right.
because you will be where you fit. A lot of the conflict and the friction that occurs is really due to us being in places where we don't fit. Your what's the phrase? A round peg in a square hole, or a square peg in a round hole. I
Yes.
don't particularly enjoy saying the word hole, but
Wow.
if my mama is watching, I'm so sorry.
Wow.
But in any case, a lot of the conflict is that we don't fit, and that's why we feel the way we feel.
I,
That's pretty
and
much it.
and that's a whole nother show too. And we talked about that on a show previously that you had and that I was a guest on.
Mhm.
And we talked about moving before our time, or moving, taking the
Mm.
first thing available, because we are in general we want to just promote just because, and
Yeah,
we will settle for wherever we go. We will do all other duties as
we will
assigned.
do all other duties
All
assigned.
we will do all of them.
Just but look, it's like a carrot, right? It's
Right,
like somebody's dangling it in your face with the hope that you promote me. I will do it. I will clean toilets. I will do
right,
anything. But I think that, and this goes back to an internal reflection, I think that it's important for you to understand that you are the prize in
Yes.
this situation. You are not the I think we have a wrong perception of ourselves.
Right.
I am not I am the prize when I show up to any campus, when I participate um in any or partner with any school or district or whatever. I am the resource here. I am the prize,
Yes.
right? And so I am mindful of how I am treated when I am in those situations. And if you don't treat me like I am the prize, then this is not where I'm supposed to be, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're without honor in familiar places, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So if you're too familiar to understand that I am the prize, then I need to go somewhere else where someone will benefit from me,
Right.
right?
Right.
And your job with a district, a school, anything is a business transaction.
Yes.
And it has to work both ways. And if
Right.
it doesn't work both ways, this is not for me.
Right. And we get attached to things that we don't even think about. We get attached to, oh, well, this was close to my house, or I really like the
Mhm.
kids here, or I really like, my team. But if that's one thing is the only thing that you like or you fit in the whole organization, that's probably still not for you. Because where you go, when you find your right fit, you're going to like a lot more than one thing about where you are. You're going to, like you said earlier, you're going to be okay doing some of the other duties as assigned because you totally have bought into where you are. They appreciate you, they value you, and you're truly a part of that family. When you're just there, when you like an aspect of it, I mean, you make do. You do because you think you have to. You do out of
Yeah.
obligation, and that's not any kind of working condition that anybody should be in. So I am with you on that. Make sure you're where you're supposed to be. And if you're
Yeah.
unsure where you're supposed to be, keep looking. You
Yeah.
know, I have a long educational resume. I have a long educational resume, and not because I was like I had the intent to just hop districts, or I had different reasons to go to different districts and different places that I taught. And I'm grateful for all of those experiences. But I I went where I was supposed to be at that time in my life. And when a particular place no longer served me, or I was no longer serving it in the right way, I was able to move along.
Okay. I have your picture up for everybody to see.
Hey, I was like, wait a minute.
Education LLC, you got this. Can you please
Yes.
share with our audience more information really quickly because we got to close out about you got this back to school summit.
All right, this summit here is going to be held July 17th. I'm sorry, July 16th in Arlington, Texas. It is for current and aspiring teachers, administrators, parents, and rising 6th through 12th graders. It is going to be an experience, a total experience. Come there because right now we are feeling burdened with everything and we want to get away from the profession. But what I am here to do and what Education LLC is here to do is to let you know that you got this and give you the tools that you need to be successful. So please send out your parents, send out the new students, your current aspiring administrators, current aspiring teachers. Y'all come on out. There are 6 hours of CPE credit that's going to be offered. So, and I know you want those credits before the school year starts because you got to get like 18 plus credits. So let's knock 6 of them out, and get these tools, get equipped so we can really service our teachers and we can grow professionally because that's what it's all about. We want to grow, and grow, as well as we want our students to grow and be successful through high school and beyond.
Awesome. And we'll talk about Let's Go Up Urban Pedagogy. This is an instructional leadership conference for those people who or education practitioners who are trying to build their instructional leadership skills. This is where you want to be. I will be pouring out to you all of the knowledge that I have gained over the past over 20 years about accountability, school leadership, and things, anything connected to that topic. So, this is for, again, all instructional leaders, or if you are an upcoming instructional leader, or if you are a principal, I strongly encourage you to bring your instructional leadership team. We're going to work with you to build an instructional program. So, we're going to build it, and I'm going to teach your team how to manage it and how to provide oversight for those instructional programs. Okay. We're going to talk about why curriculum, operational, and cultural leaders don't produce sustainable student achievement. So, if you have been wondering why, you'll have student achievement sometimes, and sometimes you do not. I have the answer for you, and you need to come out and be a part of Let's Go Up Urban Pedagogy. And you will also earn CEU credits. So if you have your phone, you can get it to the QR code, and that will lead you straight to my page. If you don't, it's at impactttl.com/let's go up. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope that we have given you something that you can take back with you. We enjoy talking to you. Now, next week, we're going to be talking about SEL. Really? Is that a thing? SEL.
Yes.
Uh, I have my thoughts about that. But anyway, we'll be talking about it next week. I can't wait till we get to the special education one.
Yes. Well, I hope
That's
all the counselors and the SEL folks join in
yes.
our conversation next week, because we want to hear all perspectives next week. So please, if you know, touch somebody and tell them, touch your neighbor and say, if you're SEL, join us.
SEL, join us. Okay, so I'm in a visiting studio today, so I can't play around with you guys. I have to go because they're gonna charge me. So this has been fun, and we're ending our live, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.